Hello and welcome to the Bourbon Bear, and what a sad, sad day for Bears fans. Last Sunday, losing on a Hail Mary to the Washington Commanders to put the Bears at 4-3, and instant reaction, Bondo. That hits hard.
Well, it hits hard. It hits hard, extremely hard, and the only reason why they lost is because Luke and all his buddies 1-7,
1-8, 1-8 on the Beast Tour.
On the Bears tour over the last 8 years. So from now on, Luke cannot go to a away game, period. And all those other knuckleheads, no more road games for the Bears.
I mean, we have to keep fighting the good fight. It sucks that we're 1-8 on the Beast Tour, but that loss in particular, when you had the game up 3 with 20 seconds left on the clock.
21 seconds.
Great kick to get the ball in play to run the clock, and then you have that check down play, and then I just don't understand why you rush 3 and have a spy out there, and you rush 4. In that situation, you rush 4, game over.
Rush 4, but I brought out a point that any good defense, when they throw a Hail Mary, a lot of times they bring their best wide receiver or tallest receivers back to the end zone. And the Bears, I screamed to put Komet back there. He's got hands, he can knock the ball down, he's 6'4". No, you got these 5'10" guys back there, hamming it up, Stevenson. And never should have lost the game. It's coaching. That's all on the coaching.
And so I know what coaching we're going to get into because a lot of people are calling for Eberflus's head right now. But Tyreek Stevenson, we were at the game. We saw him doing his taunt to the crowd. That play started with him was back to the quarterback.
Correct.
How unbelievable is that?
That's Pop Warner football. Vider wouldn't even do that. I mean, but it's uncalled for. The Bears, they should be 5-2
sounds so much better on paper.
4-3.
Oh my God!
It's incredible. It's like gaining a yard on the goal line. The NFL is hard to win, and when you have one, it's in your hands. It's gifted. It's wrapped. And it kills the Bears.
So we'll keep it high level before, because I want to get into the play calling, I want to get into the coaching. But you're sitting at 4-3 right now. Looking at a bigger picture of the scope here, do you think 10 wins is still attainable with that loss?
I started the year at 9-8 in my picks, and over under it was 9 for me. I still think it's 9-8. As long as Eberflus is there, the culture is good. I mean, the Bears have a good culture, except for what Stevenson pulled. I mean, that goes back to a Bill Belichick coaching, and you never trash your teammates, and you never trash a game until it's over. And even though there's 3 seconds left, you can always lose, and they did. So,
yep. I mean, that's all you can say. It's a loss in the end of the day. If you can look back, you can regret it. It's a loss. You're 4-3. You do have the Cardinals and the Patriots coming up, which at this point, if you want to make the playoffs, these become 2 must-win games.
Must-win.
You cannot lose either of these games. You're out.
We're gonna see how the players react today. Okay, it's so important that Eberflus, I think, overall has a positive attitude in the locker room. I don't see any trash. Like Dallas Cowboys are having right now. So if they believe in Eberflus, they're going to have to show up big time for their coach. If this is a loss, I say can him
right here. I don't hate that.
And then we start with pieces of a new regime next year. That's all I can say. His record, again, Bill Parcells, you're only as good as your record. His record is not good.
So let's go in a little bit deeper, though, in the game itself, because realistically, the Bears should not have even been in that game in the Hail Mary situation. 9 points scored by Washington in the first half, 0 by the Bears. The offense seemed like they were clicking against Jacksonville. Everyone has high hopes about what's going on here. And then you go right back to what you were, where this is offense that can't move the ball. Receivers look like they're not on the same page as Caleb. Is Shane Waldron just not understanding what to do here?
Well, good point. You come off a bye and you can't. I mean, the defense played great.
Oh, it played fantastic.
I mean, you can't blame them. And holding them to all field goals except for the Hail Mary is a feather in their cap. Without Brisker and Gordon, that would have been a hell of a win, and it's an important win, and it should have been a win. But I still believe in the D. I still believe Komet had one catch before the fourth quarter.
Sounds about right.
That middle of the field. If you were watching the game, the middle of the field was open, just like in the Jacksonville game. And Caleb, in the Jacksonville game, checked down. He did a great job. And I was watching those two safeties on Washington. They were just way back.
Yeah.
And the Bears got to pick up on that. I know they're not a big screen team, but Komet over the middle, or even give Mercedes Lewis a chance.
No, don't do that. Well, I'm not doing that.
He was blocking pretty good if you saw the goal line last week.
So what I want to say though, to the middle of the field point, it just looked like, because Roma Dunes, I think it was the first quarter, Caleb had him wide open. He threw it behind him. It was clearly on Caleb on that throw. I'm not going to lie to you. It just looks like they're not on the same page is what the biggest concern I have is. Like, receivers like Keenan Allen are open half the time, and it's just they don't know where they're going or what's happening. That's all on Shane Waldron for scheming it poorly, in my mind.
Well, good point. The problem is they're both rookies, okay? And you got to give them a little slack. I mean, the move from college to pro is night and day.
Yep.
It's kind of like high school to college. And it's a big step. And Adumze is going to be great. Keenan Allen is a great leader. I hope DJ Moore is okay this week. It seemed like he's been banged up.
He's playing though.
Oh, he's definitely playing, but he's been banged up.
3 touchdowns, 150-1. Shout out.
Another head, just fade that. No, but again, the O-line I thought played okay.
Yeah, with the injuries, I think they did play okay. I mean, you lost Braxton Jones in the second quarter or third quarter. That's your starting left tackle. So you're asking a lot of people to step up. And Caleb did show, in my opinion, the ability to win games was there. Like, he made those 2 drives at the end of the game. The fumble was play calling. That was just a stupid play. I don't understand. Roshan Johnson, within the 5-yard line, has a 100% success touchdown ratio. That means when they're in the red zone within the 5-yard line, if you give him the ball, he will score. That's insane, and you don't give him the ball.
Insane.
I just don't get it.
And what you also got to believe is that you're not blaming Kramer.
No, he shouldn't have been in the situation.
He should have never been handed the ball. That's not even Pop Warner football. I mean, it's below that. That's like flag when you're in 3rd grade. You can't do that. I mean, you can't. I mean, it's insane. Give it to your fullback that Johnson. No,
Roshan Johnson. Roshan
Johnson. Yeah, he's solid in the goal line situations, and that's another thing about Eberflus. I mean, and the offensive coordinator. It's not right.
Yep,
it's not right.
So if you had to divvy up the blame, though, you can't put it all on Flus, even though he should have called a timeout, in my opinion. That was stupid.
3 timeouts.
Didn't call a timeout.
Timeouts.
And if you saw Stevenson out there acting like a jackass, it's like, call timeout right away. Like, no. And everyone would have yelled at him if he did use the timeout too, and it still happened, but you can't live in the past here. But if you had to assign blame by a percentage, though, I'm going to say 10% Caleb, 30% Waldron, and then 60% Eberflus. Just because you're coming off a bye as a head coach, you have to have a plan in there. And don't get me wrong, the defense, to your point, played great. Only touchdown given up was on a Hail Mary. We're the best red zone defense in the NFL right now.
Is that right?
We are. We're number 1 in red zone efficiency. So I can't put it all on Flus, but you have to take the responsibility as a head coach. And his comments to the media after trying to defend what he was doing, it just rubbed me the wrong way. I think most of Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, when you make mistakes, face up to it, But I like their attitudes though overall. I mean, listen to some of the players. Sure it was. They don't blame Stevenson. They blame themselves, and you can't finger point. Then you lose the locker room. But I think,
but no, you gotta sign the blame though. So what, you're gonna put all on Flus then?
I'm putting it all on Flus. That should have been all preseason. That should have been stuff they talked about. That's a situation again where
you gotta be prepared for it.
You just timeout. You got 3. I mean, why not? I mean, get the boys. Anytime you watch a good coach, he calls a timeout. He sets something up. Does it always work? No, but I think it works more times than not when everybody's on the same page. I think you brought up the point. Once the ball's deflected, you can just tackle.
Yeah, you can hit him. Literally,
hit him.
Have someone in the back that's literally is going to just wrap him up. Like, don't let anyone behind you. I don't understand why they
never should have anybody behind you. Ever.
Oh my god.
And we can go talk about this till our face is blue, but I blame Eberflus, and I'm telling you, if he doesn't win the locker, if he doesn't win this game, I feel
fire him on the spot.
Yeah.
I don't hate that because I think it's the Detroit Lions offensive coordinator expressed interest in being the Bears head coach.
Oh,
I'm drawing a blank on his name, but that would be an immediate upgrade from what we have right now.
Yeah,
just because I just can't buy into this offense. You have too many weapons. The line, I get it, it's a little banged up. But if the offense doesn't click today, I'm just losing so much faith in Shane Waldron. And Shane Waldron was, part of the process of Eberflus selecting him as OC, so it's still on Eberflus.
It's on Eberflus, and I'm not blaming Williams at all. He zero. His offense for what he does, and his checkdowns are better. His footwork's been better until last week. So I think he's going to have a big day.
So one thing I want to get in before we get into the Cardinals game, though, is the trade deadline coming up. Right now, the Bears capital, you have a first-rounder, 2 second-rounders. You're pretty clean throughout the draft right now. Do you think they make a move pending the result of this game? Because if they win, I think there's a chance they do make a move because you're still in competition for the division, the conference, whatever it's going to be. If you lose, I think you just sell off all of your weak assets, like a Nate Davis, Khalil Herbert, get rid of everybody.
Well, Herbert hasn't. He
didn't play in a while, yeah.
Well, that's fine, and I think he's gone. I think the writing's on the wall there. But when you look at the trade deadline, you got to look at the teams that the lower end teams are the only ones that are going to sacrifice anything from an offensive line standpoint. And I love that center on Indy, Kelly, and
that would be a nice fit.
But Indy's in the thick of it, and you're also look at the lower end team. Carolina's got nothing to offer.
Well, they just traded Deontay Johnson for a 5th rounder.
Yeah,
that's just selling the farm right there. It's like, oh my god.
Well, the Panthers are the worst team in the league, hands down. And look at Las Vegas, the Raiders, not the greatest offensive line in the world. And you're looking at the low end teams. In New England, they don't have much to offer in the offensive line. All other positions, I'm fine. Wide receiver, quarterback, running back, but offensive line is where they need a lot of help.
So you mentioned running back there, though. I actually like this combination of Swift and Roschon because Swift, that touchdown he had was fantastic in the Commanders game.
Yes.
Absolutely incredible. Ever since week 3, he's figured out, I guess, how to hit these holes and how the line, I guess it was maybe a miscommunication or maybe a poor blocking scheme, but now he's figuring out, hey, here's a hole. I can make a big play. I can win you this game. And I love to see that out of him.
And it's his attitude.
Yep.
And the first 3 games, after that 3rd game, they were saying, hey, this guy's not what we thought he was. And there was a little pressure on him, and he responded.
Yep.
And he's responded since game 3. So I feel great with Swift. I'd like to have another, maybe a bigger back.
I think Roschon fills that for you, though. He's been fantastic in short yardage. I know he's not going to blow you away with the speed. Max Orlandi yesterday said he's like a less elusive Matt Forte, essentially. Like he can get the first tackle a miss, but he's probably not going anywhere. But still, that's not bad. I can have that on the goal line.
Boy, Max said that? I'm shocked. I didn't know the guy could think that well. But only joking, Max. No, but that's again, the offensive line still concerns me.
And I don't want to get into drafting because I think everyone agrees we need to draft offensive and defensive linemen next year. But that's conversation once the season's over. Going into the Cardinals, though, this is easily a team you can beat.
Correct.
You're at Arizona, which is, it's going to be what it is. James Conner is my biggest fear of the game. The Bears' run defense has been their only weakness. And it hasn't necessarily been, the defensive line or the line. It's just kind of random happenings, I feel like, that just suddenly running backs find a hole. Like Chuba Hubbard, Carolina, scores a 40-yard touchdown against us. Randomly, there's just like a crack, and the running backs can exploit against this defense. And for how good they are, like, what's going on there? I just don't understand it.
I think what it is it's missed tackles. Once they pass the linebackers, and the defensive backs have been great.
They've been fantastic.
But when they wrap up, sometimes because of their size, the Bears don't have a real big cornerback or safety. They don't.
Britzker's your hard hitter, though, but he's been out. So
Britzker's out. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's going to be out. From my sources, from NFL Network.
Your sources as a public network.
Yeah, that's right. What come on, guys. No, but Gordon's supposed to be back. That's going to help. But, when a big back or a solid back like Hubbard gets in the secondary, they just don't tackle as well. I mean, that's once they get past the, especially linebackers, it's a need. But I still like their defensive backs from a standpoint of pass coverage.
No, I'm not. Defensive backs is great, but it's just the run game is our only weakness, I feel like. The secondary is a no-fly zone. They've been absolutely, even with backup safeties in there, they've been able to do everything.
Correct.
The pass rush is actually pretty good this year compared to last year. Oh my God, they're getting pressure.
Well, we got Sweat the whole year. I mean,
well, Sweat had that ankle injury. That also was kind of a mess at the end of the game. You saw him come out, right? He's playing today. He's playing today, but against the Cardinals, I mean, you have Kyler Murray, who's a similar play style to Jaden Daniels. It's going to be a lot of running. It's going to be a lot of you have to keep a spy on him, whatever you have to do. I think Kyler Murray is like a discount version of him. I think Kyler Murray's never lived up to a number 1 overall draft pick. Marvin Harrison Jr., he's going to probably be against Johnson the whole game.
Right.
So I'm assuming he's going to be not much of a factor. Johnson's been fantastic, so I think he can close it down.
Harrison, as a rookie, is probably the best wide receiver rookie in the league.
Rookie, yes.
And he's already proved himself that he's going to be an incredible player.
So that's what I want to get into, though. So how did the Bears lose this game?
Well, first off, the Brisker is going to hurt. Murray has never won 2 games until last week in his career in a row.
Really?
Yep.
That's a good fact.
I mean, hell, it is, and that's after what, 6 years in the league. He never won 2 in a row.
Has it been 6 years?
5 years. It could be 5 years, but he's never won 2 in a row until last week. He's not going to win 3 in a row. That's one of my it's my Bondo's bets every week. I don't want to divulge all my answers here, but I got a feeling Connor and Harrison, if we can contain them to 50% of their game or 60% of their game, we're going to win, and we're going to win by a touchdown. So I think the offensive line is banged up. I think they can step up. I don't think the Arizona's defense was just average at best. I'll bet there'll be more Bear fans in Arizona than
So what concerns me with that is there were probably, I would say it's 40-60 in D.C. You had Bears fans going nuts there. I think Grant made a comment that they announced it in the game. They're like, oh, it sounds like a lot of Bears fans.
Yeah.
We had an entire section of just Bears fans. It was wild. It was essentially a home game, and we thought we had that momentum. And I agree with you. Arizona is basically a home game because a lot of transplants in there. Cardinals are, the Cardinals. Let's be real. A lot of Bears fans moved to Arizona, whatever it's going to be. Again, I think Flus knows his job's on the line. I think you're right in the sense that they'll win by a touchdown because these players want to play for him. Because if they don't, he's gone. That's it. I'm with you. You fire him if you lose this game.
And again, you look at an old guy like me. I remember they were the Chicago Cardinals.
Yep.
And
the Cater Staleys were the Bears back then.
Well, I wasn't around then, but that wasn't. But the Chicago Cardinals. There's always, other than the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think the Bears are one of the best road fan base. If you follow me,
we've never won under Eberflus a Sunday road game though.
What?
How terrifying is that?
Say that again.
So we've won a road game, I think it was on a Thursday, or maybe it was Monday. Oh, it was Monday Night Football, I think, against the Patriots. But Flus' road record is atrocious. It's literally disgusting. And that would have been a great win if you beat the Commanders on the road.
Sure.
So that's my one fear.
Well,
Flus' record is terrible on the road.
Wow. Well, that's but I'm going to throw another stat out here to my boys, the Zuck boys. The Zuck boys will be at the game. They are.
You're in Arizona?
Yeah, they're in Arizona.
Oh, nice.
Well, Mike lives there, and then Al's going there for the game.
No.
But the Zuck boys, when they go to a road game for the Bears, they don't do it often. But in the last 10 years, they're 3-0.
Mm.
So that's a
better than the Beast Tour right there. It's better than the Beast Tour right there.
It's a nugget that no one else will ever give you. But again, I got a feeling that the Bears are going to come out with a win. If that's not the case, I think we got to hang Eberflus out.
So I know we'll get into Bondo's bets in a second, but Bears score today. I think if we're right that their players are going to play for Eberflus after all the drama the Bears have gone through, I think the Bears win 24-10.
Well, you're pretty close. I gave 24-13, so we're right there. I think that's about right, and don't make mistakes in the fourth quarter.
Yep, that's true. Mm-hmm.
So we're on the same page, and
so let's get into it, though. This is a segment everyone's waiting for. Bondo's Bets. Here we go.
I got to take my glasses up because I can't see. But Bondo's Bets this week is sponsored by Nicholas and Associates. If you ever need construction work anywhere in the country, you call the Papas.
You are a walking infomercial, and I love it.
A walking infomercial. It's my job is to take care of my
Billy
friends.
Mays here. I'm sorry.
Oh boy. All right. Well, here we go. Be ready. The lock of the week: Atlanta minus 2.5. Dallas is done. Dallas is cooked. Their players don't even. Interesting. The two guys on their injured reserve now for Dallas. They asked them on the radio who the top 5-6 quarterbacks were in the league, and neither one of them said Dak Prescott. So they lost. You always defend your players. So Atlanta's a big pick. I do like L.A. -1. That's the Rams. Excuse me. New Orleans. You might as well forget Carolina. They ain't gonna win a game. Although they won the first game of the year, I think.
Well, they beat. I think they was it the Saints. They do have one win. I'm trying to think.
Well, it might have been, but the Saints are a better team.
I think it was the Raiders they beat.
I like Cleveland +1.5. Here's one I feel pretty good about is Detroit -3. I see a couple of guys in Green Bay are out. For Rocky, I'm going to give you the Bengals -7, and then of course the Bears +2. And I do like the under, so you can.
Wait a minute, the Bears are not +2.
Oh yeah,
the Bears are -1.5 right now.
Not according to my sources.
I got it -1.5.
I'll get Benny's line right now. I'm not sponsoring Benny.
Do a lot because we're getting the right. Gotta make the board clean.
Yeah, well, I gotta hold on.
I think the Bears are -1.5 right now.
Oh, let's see here. Cancel. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to. No, the Bears are here. They're plus. The Bears are +2.5 now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. You got some good odds on that side.
I'm going to take the Bears +2.5. So
I take that money line if you're getting the odds for it. Oh my God! If you look at touchdown, take the money line.
Well, the money line.
Don't be scared, Bondo.
Plus 110.
Yeah, you got to take the +110.
Yeah.
Oh, no faith. No faith.
And I do like under 45.5. So I give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 picks.
8 picks today.
But 25, 27, and 17.
And 1.
And I still think I'm 28 and 16. But
He's not.
I'm not trying to screw up, but I'm trying to set the record straight.
Bondo, we've got photos of the board. We're auditing you this year, so it's still an impressive though to Bondo. My God, you're killing it in the NFL this year, and it's the hardest sport to bet.
Yeah, well, as you guys all know, I'm the star of the show. It's amazing to me. Of course, I don't get paid anything other than a half a glass of bourbon. But I wish you well this week. Let's go Bears. Help our sponsors out whatever you can, and let's go.
And for closing time, Bears 24, Cardinals 10. Bounce back game for the Bears. We need a W. Bear down.
Bear down.
Go Bears.
Bear down.
Bears.
Let's go Bears. Bears.